My name is Thomson Hunter McKie and I am a sergeant in the Argyll and Sutherland Highlanders. I am attached to the Army Catering Corps. I was born at Kilhensey Cottage, Maybole, on the 1st of August 1911 to Elizabeth McKie, a dairymaid on Kilhensey Farm. My dad was James Hunter, a farm servant from Crosshill, but we didn't have anything to do with him. In 1913, my mum married Thomas Thomson when I was nearly 2, the man I would look up to and who treated me as his own son. I had 3 half-brothers, Thomas, John and Samuel, and we were all treated exactly the same. My dad was my hero. He'd been away at World War I and served with the 7th Battalion of the Royal Scots Fusiliers. On the 3rd of September 1939, we were all sitting around the wireless waiting to hear a speech for the Prime Minister, Neville Chamberlain, to hear whether we were going to war or not. At 11:15 a.m, war was declared. My mum cried buckets and my dad, he just paced about. I was the first of the brothers to sign up. Then Thomas, he was with the Royal Artillery, and then John, the baby of the family, he was going to be a pilot in the Royal Air Force. We were sent to India for training. I had trained as a cook, not really by choice, but always seemed to be the designated cook wherever we went. I was always told, an army doesn't march on its feet, it marches on its stomach. So we tried our best to feed the troops healthy and nutritious meals. It wasn't always easy. It was so hot and there were flies everywhere, and it wasn't easy to keep things clean either, but we didn't want any more disease in the camps, so we did what we could. We were taken into the jungles of Malaya in early 1941 to prepare for jungle warfare. The terrain was harsh and the heat felt as if it was burning through your skin, and the mosquitoes, God, I thought the midges were bad, but these were unforgiving. I'd been told that both of my brothers, John and Thomas, had died within 5 months of each other. One in July 1940 in Pakistan, and the other in December in Yorkshire. I was offered a move to the Indian Army Corps of Clerks. We would be handling administrative and logistical tasks, supporting larger military operations. I presumed this was to offer me a safer environment, as my parents had already lost so much. On the 15th of February 1942, Singapore fell into the hands of the Japanese, and we, along with thousands of others, were captured and interned at Changi Prisoner of War Camp. This was the main holding facility for British and Commonwealth prisoners. I was given the POW number 32446. On the 25th of April 1943, we were transported from Singapore on the Kyoko Maru. This was known as a Hellship. It was a floating prisoner of war camp with very few facilities, and we all left for dignity on the quayside that day. I'd never seen anything like this, and I couldn't believe life could get any worse. How wrong could a man be? The journey took 25 days. We couldn't sleep much. We had little or no food, water, and so many of the men were just collapsing either for exhaustion, the heat, disease or starvation. The stench on board was sickening and unlike anything I had ever smelt before. Listen, and I had been a farmer back home. We arrive in Tokyo and have to trek for 3 days to get to the camp. 296 of us arrive at Camp B on the 23rd of May, and I was now POW 1459. In April of 1944, the camp took in about 106 Americans. By this time they had renamed the camp 7D for whatever reason, but it didn't really matter to us. We worked in a quarry and a cement factory, and we also chipped out the carbon ingots from the open hearth furnaces. Hard and brutal work on our malnourished bodies. We were beaten repeatedly, and if we were too ill to work, we weren't getting fed. The Japanese didn't want to waste food or water on those who weren't deemed fit to work. It was so hard to comprehend how other human beings could treat us this way, worse than animals, gone to the slaughter. I was taken to the hospital with an infection. It had been noted that I had a rare disease in November of 1943, but that never stopped me from being struck or battered with sticks or sent out to work. I become the third of my parents' sons to die in World War II, at the camp hospital at Tokyo Shinagawa internment camp of TB and a bacterial infection of the kidneys. A dose of antibiotics would have saved me, but we weren't worth anything to our captors and we were dispensable. They simply didn't care. My POW cards have me dying at 1:05 a.m. on the 6th of February 1944, but all British records state the 21st of April 1944. Doesn't matter to me. My pain's gone now. But it'll matter to my mum and dad and my only brother left back home. I'm buried in the camp. Then my ashes are reburied in Yokohama Mausoleum on the 5th of March 1946. The urn bearing my ashes is buried for the last time at Yokohama War Cemetery in Japan on the 13th of September 1946. I can now finally rest in peace. My name is carved on Dailly church panels alongside both of my brothers. Always remember, for your tomorrow I gave my today. My name is Thomson McKie, and I will forever be 32 years old.